All right, baby, game on the line. We got to get this dub. Come on now. We got to get back on track after 2 losses. There it is, baby. Let's go. Bro, what are you doing? Come on. Nothing ruins a Sunday faster than watching your favorite team fall apart. And Eagles fans, after these last 3 games, we need to talk. It has been that bad. Because all we heard in the offseason was Super Bowl repeat. And now, we're not even competing. As a former football player, a lifelong Eagles fan, and now a young coach, I couldn't help but make this video breaking down the Eagles' offensive struggles. Because honestly, these problems are major. And I mean major. Once you see it, you can't unsee it. It's like when King Neptune did this. All jokes aside though, this film, it explains everything. Every stalled drive, the chaos between the offense, the broken concepts, literally everything, man. The Eagles' offense has gotten so bad, Eagles fans started egging Kevin Patullo's house.
Oh, brother, this guy stinks!
So let's break it down. And let me warn you, the way you're about to watch football is going to completely change. When you watch the Eagles pass the ball, the passing game, let's be honest, it's straight up built to fail. The issues pop off the screen immediately, and not in subtle ways. The route concepts are simple, predictable, and lack any kind of stress on the defense. In football, the offense is supposed to create conflict. You either force a linebacker to choose between 2 bad options, or you make the safety declares coverage early. Most plays have both of these things. Well, the Eagles, no. You think they do that, right? Absolutely not. Unfortunately, they do the exact opposite. Their route packages often work against each other instead of creating space. You'll see 2 receivers here run into the same exact area. Like, what are we doing? The route packages just don't make sense. You got 2 receivers occupying the same zone, so the linebacker can play both of the routes. Defenders are sitting comfortably on predictable routes, hitches, stops, end breakers. Oh, and obviously, the hero plays. We have Jalen Hurts sitting there running around like a headless chicken just to keep the offense on schedule. And from a coaching standpoint, this is a spacing clinic on what not to do. And for my young quarterbacks out there, when 2 receivers end up in the same window, not only do you lose leverage, you lose timing, and to make it worse, your progression breaks down. Next thing you know, you're throwing an interception, and it's all your fault. But look, as coaches, this is why we drill landmarks, depth, and spacing every single day. The intricate details are so important because good concepts create answers for the quarterback. Bad concepts turn every drop back into improv.
Why are you running? Why are you running?
Man, the Eagles' pass offense has absolutely no sequencing. And what I mean by that is the defense takes away the first concept, nothing else is built to attack their adjustments. And the alignments on the offense for the receivers, completely static. Same splits, same bunch looks, same spacing cues. And defenders, they recognize this instantly. That's why the DBs are breaking down on routes before receivers even make their cuts. That's why the offense looks quote-unquote slow, even when the players aren't. And that's why the passing game feels like a struggle every single week, because the concepts don't make easy yards. In today's NFL, you simply just can't do that. You need motion to identify coverage, use the formations to force mismatches, because they create free, easy access throws. And if you're a quarterback, learn to know when a concept simply isn't built to help you. Don't force the hero ball like Jalen Hurts does here. But for real, the 2025 Eagles, they operate like they still believe talent can out-execute scheme. And that's exactly why the passing game is drowning. And don't even get me started on the run game, because the run game has no identity whatsoever. The Eagles last year were one of the most dominant teams. They were intimidating. They were diverse, and they had a disgusting run game. This year, the complete opposite. In fact, it's so bad, we have some fans talking about Saquon Barkley is washed. And to be honest, that is just not the case. The Eagles' run game, it's stale, predictable, and passive. The run concepts don't fit the personnel. They don't stretch linebackers. There's no misdirection, no eye candy, barely any motion. It's just inside zone after inside zone. On tape, this is a perfect example when your scheme doesn't match your players. Running backs are constantly being hit behind the line of scrimmage, and it's because of the angles, combinations, and assignments. They don't help the offensive line work together. A good run game should feel like choreography. Everyone stepping, fitting, and climbing with purpose. When even one piece is off, the entire picture collapses. And the biggest issue, nothing in the run game complements the pass game. In a modern NFL offense, your runs set up your play action shots, your motions set up your screens, and your formations set up your RPOs. The Eagles, every phase feels isolated and disconnected. It's like they have 11 players executing 11 different ideas. And that's the clearest coaching failure you can have. A true run identity gives you rhythm, balance, and control. Right now, the Eagles have none of those, and it shows every time the offense needs a physical conversion. Moments that used to define them now expose them. But let's be honest, the offense all starts with the play caller. As much as we don't want to admit it, it starts with the offensive coordinator. It's his concepts. And don't get me wrong, the Eagles' play calling is passive, and it eliminates all their momentum. Great play callers, they attack. They smell blood.
Shark bait.
Shark bait! Ooh-ha-ha!
Welcome, brother Shark bait.
Shark bait! Ooh-ha-ha!
Enough of the shark bait.
Shark bait! Ooh, but
Not only do they attack, they sense leverage, they understand the flow of a game, and they call plays like a boxer, throwing combinations. Jab, jab, cross, uppercut. The Eagles, the play calling, it's like they're trying not to get hit. And in the NFL, you just can't do that. Matter of fact, at any level, you can't do that. The rhythm breaks constantly. They'll have a strong drive building, chunk play, positive run, first down completion, and then suddenly, they revert back to the most predictable call in their arsenal. Screens on 3rd and long. Oh, and the inevitable inside zone on 3rd and a million. First down runs into a loaded box. A deep shot that the offense hasn't set up at all. And this is why we as coaches teach play sequencing. One play should set up the next. And if you're a young coach watching this, understand calling plays, it's like storytelling. You're building a narrative for the defense that they must react to. When you break your own rhythm, you're helping the defense. It's like the Eagles' offensive coordinator is calling plays based on a checklist instead of reading what the defense is actually giving him. And it's so obvious when you watch the games. You can feel the hesitancy in his critical moments. Instead of leaning into the Eagles' strengths, they avoid risk to avoid criticism. And then they end up getting criticized even more, when instead they should be building a game plan that keeps stacking on itself. But no, let's just call a random collection of plays, hoping one of them works. You don't play football like that. That's what makes the offense feel passive. Not because the players aren't explosive, but because the offensive philosophy is conservative, cautious, and reactionary. And a tip for my young quarterbacks. Momentum is real. When your coordinator puts you in a predictable situation, your job becomes so much harder. Learn to recognize when the defense knows what's coming and prepare your answers ahead of time. Look, man, at any level, you cannot play passive, especially in the NFL level. You can't hope the defense makes a mistake. You have to force the pressure. And I mean you, not the other players, you. Take initiative. Go out there and be a star, man. Because the Eagles, they got stars, but they ain't playing like stars. The other thing that is killing the Eagles is the lack of detail, and it's absolutely destroying their execution. And this is the part where film stings the most, because it doesn't reveal roster issues. It reveals coaching issues. And execution problems always boil down to detail, discipline, and preparation. And the Eagles, they fail in every aspect, every single week. And I mean every single week. And the lack of details really show itself where the penalties happen. And trust me, they aren't random. They keep popping up when the Eagles already need precision. They're constantly putting themselves behind the sticks. And it's most noticeable when manageable downs turn into 3rd and long. And it's all because of the pre-snap errors, the false starts, the timing disruptions. Even A.J. Brown leading the team in flags points directly to a lack of detail. These aren't physical failures, they're discipline failures. And discipline failures are execution killers, especially in the moments that decide games. Since we mentioned A.J. Brown, let's not forget about how bad the Eagles receivers really have been. And I don't mean they're dropping passes left and right. Well, besides A.J. Brown dropping that one. What I mean is the receiver spacing, it's sloppy. Routes are run at inconsistent depths. Stacking defenders is inconsistent as well. The motion timing is off. The receiver alignment is basic. The splits are the same leverage. And the Eagles are missing the precision they used to have. When your receiving corps is even off by half a step, the timing collapses. And all of that traces back to a team that isn't fully prepared. And that is on the coaches. Yes, the players have to execute with detail, but at the end of the day, it is the coach's scheme and concepts, and that falls back to coaching. Oh, and not to mention the pass protection, man. Another symptom of the Eagles, man. It's like they just need to pop another Advil or something. But for real, though, they have free rushers untouched, slide protections called the wrong way, running backs missing ID assignments, and these aren't effort mistakes. They're communication mistakes, teaching mistakes, and discipline mistakes. Young athletes, if you're listening to this, never underestimate spacing, leverage, and depth. And the details, the angles, these boring details decide whether a play works or it fails. The tape never lies about who's disciplined and who isn't. You are not behind, you're being prepared, is what most teams typically are, saying. But this team, they're not being prepared, and they're behind. And it's showing up constantly on film. They're showing up hoping they could figure it out on the field, and you can't win like that in the NFL, especially in the NFL, where the talent is the best of the best. To piggyback on the lack of details and the lack of discipline, it is not the talent, it's the standard. And this is where the Eagles' ugly truth comes full circle. The standard has dropped. It's as simple as that. Not the talent, because when the standard drops, the details are the first thing to go out the window. The Eagles can compete with anyone. They had the talent. The players haven't regressed. The roster isn't broken. But what is broken? It's the standard that they used to play with. A standard built on physicality, precision, discipline, identity, and cohesion, which is a big word that just means playing as a team together, might I add. Oh, and now the offense feels like it's in survival mode. No confidence, no consistency, no clear point of view. The Eagles keep pretending that there's some dominant team, detail-oriented, and they're just not. The film exposes the truth. The details are gone, the identity is gone, and until that standard returns, nothing else matters. Talent will never save you from poor habits, at any level. High school, college, or the pros. The standard is what separates good teams from disciplined teams. And those disciplined teams are great teams. And right now, The Eagles' standard is nowhere close to their talent level. Championship teams aren't defined by their talent. They're defined by the standard they refuse to compromise on. And right now, the Eagles aren't upholding theirs. That's the ugly truth of the 2025 Eagles. The past concepts are outdated, the run game has no identity, the passive play calling, the details are crumbling, and most of all, the standard. That standard, until it's rebuilt, the Eagles will keep collapsing. If you want takes that go deeper than surface level and breakdowns that genuinely teach you the game, subscribe. We don't do hot takes, we coach through film. God first, and God bless. See you in the next one.